Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 1, text number 24. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, Maharaj Priyavrata married Barhishmati, the daughter of the Prajapati named Vishvakarma. In her he begot 10 sons equal to him in beauty, character, magnanimity, and other qualities. He also begot a daughter, the youngest of all, named Ujjasvati. Purport. Maharaj Priyavrata not only carried out the order of Lord Rama by accepting the duties of government, but also married Barhishmati, the daughter of Vishvakarma, one of the Prajapatis. Since Maharaj Priyavrata was fully trained in transcendental knowledge, he could have returned home and conducted business of government as a brahmachari. But instead, however, when he returned to household life, he accepted a wife also. The principle is that when one becomes a grahastha, he must live peacefully in that order, which means he must live peacefully with a wife and children. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his first wife died, he requested mother to marry for a second time. He was 20 years old and so was going to take sannyas at the age of 24, yet by the request of his mother he married. As long as I am household life, he told his mother, I must have a wife. For household life does not mean staying in a house. Real household life means living in a house with a wife. These 3 words in this verse are very significant. Uhabhava. These words are used to express wonder. Priyavrata Maharaj had taken a vow of renunciation, but accepting a wife and begetting children had nothing to do with the path of renunciation. These are activities in the path of enjoyment. It was a sense of great wonder, therefore, that Maharaj Priyavrata had taken a vow of renunciation, but accepting a wife and begetting children had nothing to do with the path of renunciation. These are the activities in the path of enjoyment. It was a sense of wonder, great wonder, therefore the Maharaj Priyavrata, who had to follow the path of renunciation, and now accepted the path of sense enjoyment. Sometimes we are criticized because I am a sannyasi, I have taken part in the marriage ceremonies of my disciples. It must be explained, however, that since we have started a Krishna-conscious society, and since a human society must have ideal marriages, so to correctly establish an ideal society, you must take part in marrying some of its members, although we have taken to the path of renunciation. This may be astonishing to persons who are not very interested in establishing Daivi Varnashram, the transcendental system of 4 orders, and for social orders and for spiritual orders. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. However, in order to establish Daiva Varnashrama, and Daiva Varnashrama, there cannot be acknowledgement of social status according to birthright, because in Bhagavad Gita it is said, the determining considerations are guna and karma, one's activities and one's work. It is this Daiva Varnashrama that should be established all over the world to continue a perfect society for Krishna consciousness. This may be astonishing to foolish critics, but is one of the functions of a Krishna conscious society. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Datam Badakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Savitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sham Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatnyadeshatarine. So, we often hear, even indeed it was discussed at the ISKCON Leadership Sangha in Mayapur, we have to establish Varnashram. So then the question was, well, how to do it? That was the big question. But here it's very simple. By allowing marriages, by saying, okay, ISKCON facilitates marriages, then it's very clear that's establishing Varnashram. So the real point is that everything is here in the books, how to do everything properly. We don't need to concoct something new. Just like one godbrother now, he wants to establish a Shiva shrine as Gopishvara Shiva in every ISKCON temple. That's his thing. He's pushing for it, writing articles, all kinds of research, pushing. We must have a Shiva Gopishvara shrine in every ISKCON temple, you see. But we don't need to add something new, you see. Everything we need to know is in the books. It's already established. The Prabhupada established Radha Krishna, Gaurnitai, Jagannath Mandir, also established Tulsi worship, Guru Puja. These things have all been established by Prabhupada. Why do we need to add something new, like, Gopishvara Shiva shrine in every single ISKCON temple? Now we must do this to show that we're actually a bona fide society. So we should not fall prey to all these quote unquote sophisticated arguments with all kinds of evidence from the scriptures, trying to go deep into this shloka, that verse, this book, go deep into all these books and come up with some new formula, you see. That means they're trying to become the founder acharya. They want to be the new founder acharya, that they've done research and this is what ISKCON should do now. No. Let's just take what's already here and do it faithfully. I was discussing with this Grabda yesterday who's pushing this agenda. I said, actually, the real issue for me, the real issue we're facing here in ISKCON is my own impurities. I'm not worried about Gopishvara Shiva shrines at every temple. I'm worried about Prabhupada's order of no, all materials are zero. For me, that's the big issue, you see. How to get all these impurities out of my heart. That's the big issue that I'm facing. Not whether we should have Gopishvara Shiva shrines at every temple. Why? And he admitted, that's a very difficult thing. Why don't we focus on the most important thing, and that's to become pure devotees, pure chanters of the holy names. Shuddhanam. Right now we're nama paradis. Why don't we just focus on the big issue, and that is to go from nama parad to Shuddhanam, you see. So there's an old saying, first things first. First things first. And what's the first thing? Become a pure devotee. You see. Once we got that covered, and I explained that once that's done, we'll have perfect knowledge how to do everything. Right now we're a little confused. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? It's confusing. Should ISKCON do this? Should ISKCON do that? It's a little confusing sometimes because there's so many different things stated in the books. But if we just focus on the most essential thing, and that is become pure devotees of Krishna, then Krishna will give us the intelligence how to do everything perfectly. So that's very clear in these books, how to become a pure devotee. That's not at all confusing. Worrying about establishing Gopishvara Shiva shrines in every temple. Let's just focus on, learning how to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. In the mood of begging Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, please liberate me from this cycle of birth and death. Please bring me back to pure devotional service, you see. actually, as I've stated many, many times, it's not really not that difficult. The difficulty is we make it difficult. We're such idiots. We make it, you understand this point? We make it difficult by our idiocy. It's actually not, it's like a little kid learning how to walk. Is it not, he already has the walking ability within him, and a little practice will revive it, that's all. It's not that he has no ability to walk at all, he has to learn some new thing, walking. He already has the walking propensity sitting right there in his heart. It's a natural thing for a human being to walk on two legs. Not that I have to walk on two hands upside down, you know. Some in the circus, some people have trained, they can walk on two hands upside down to make a big show. They get some applause from the audience. We don't need to do something artificial here. It's with that book, Know Who You Are and Be Who You Are. We simply have to revive what is already there. So it's not that difficult. It's like, what is our natural position? To be awake, isn't it? Isn't it natural to be awake? Everybody should wake up now in the class. It's natural to be awake, isn't it? So let's be awake. A little bit of, it's like somebody comes to your room, Prabhu, Prabhu, it's time for Mangalarti, wake up, wake up. Oh, I've got to run, take a shower. You know. It's not that difficult to be awake, but it's already because our natural state is to be awake. A little bit of encouragement, yes, wake up, Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago. A little bit of encouragement, we can come back to our natural wakeful state. So in a similar way, it's a natural thing to be Krishna conscious. It's not an artificial imposition on the mind. It's simply getting back to your natural original state of consciousness. Bring my Kleenex box on the bed there. Okay. So who would object to knowing who they are? The people are so caught up in illusion. They come dancing down the street, Hare Krishna, we come prancing and dancing up and down the street, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. They get irritated. Just like in Melbourne, devotees went to jail because of chanting Hare Krishna. Can you imagine? They arrested and put in the jail cell for chanting Hare Krishna. Probably that's all right, we can chant in the jail, no problem. But now, because the devotees were determined, now they can do it with no problems. So sometimes there's opposition. So we should not be discouraged by the opposition. We should simply go on doing our duty, chanting Hare Krishna, preaching Krishna consciousness, whatever the situation may be. We should not be deterred or discouraged or whatever from the opposition of the so-called people. They're acting less than animals, Dvibada Pashu. They're acting lower than animals, actually, when they oppose this movement. Because we know the history. It's really an amazing thing that the opposition against our movement in Navadvip was not from the Muslims. It was some Hindus who complained to the Muslim. Can you imagine the Hindus complained to the Qazi? This is not our religion. Can you imagine? The Muslims weren't objecting. It was the Hindus objected. Can you imagine? Imagine how stupid they were, these so-called Hindus. The Hindus objected to the chanting of Hare Krishna, and they complained to the Muslim Qazi. What kind of nonsense are we dealing with in this material world? The Hindus are complaining. We don't like these Hare Krishnas. This is not our religion, is it? So we should not be discouraged by anybody's criticism. We should simply become very, very determined. Yes, let me be Krishna conscious, because this is the actual original nature of every single living being. Let me come back to being who I actually am and propagating this Krishna consciousness movement. There's no reason to be continuing our entanglement here in the cycle of birth and death. I mean, can you imagine how stupid we were to begin with? We were there in Krishna's pastimes in the spiritual world, relishing our original sarup. Can you imagine? We all had a sarup, either in shanta, and passive adoration, dasha, servitorship, sakya, friendship, vatsalya, parenthood, or madhurya, conjugal. We all had can you imagine, we were all situated in a sweet, unlimitedly sweet rasa with Krishna, and even in 5 different varieties. Can you imagine? We were actually there with Krishna, with Radharani, with the gopas, the gopis. We were all there in the spiritual aura in Vaikuntha. And we were all there in an original loving relationship with Krishna. But yet we gave it up. How asinine, how idiotic can you imagine it was? We gave it up. The grass is greener on the other side of the fence. To try to enjoy, let me try a different style of enjoyment. It's very nice being with Krishna, relishing loving relationships with him. Maybe there's something better. Maybe I could try to take his position as the supreme enjoyer. Let me try being the supreme enjoyer. So that's what we did. We tried to enjoy separating from Krishna, and it didn't work out. We thought we were enjoying it, but we were so illusioned by our new position as the enjoyer, we thought, oh, this is pretty good. We actually went on for millions and billions of lifetimes thinking, well, it's actually pretty good, but being a Brahma is not, let me try being an Indra, or try being a this or that. We thought, well, it's pretty good, but, you know, we thought, pretty good being an Indra, maybe I could try going all the way down to being Indigo, but germ, try enjoying that way. It's pretty good being, just like the old story of what is that story? Went to the yogi, what was it? What did he start off with? Yeah, a mouse. He started as a mouse, yeah. It's pretty good being a mouse, but now I'm being harassed by the cats. So even, the old story, everybody knows the story. Punarmuzaka Baba, again you become a mouse, you see. So we try to be happy in this way, and that way, and this way, and that way, and it never works out here. No matter how hard we try to enjoying in this rascal place, it never really works out because this is not our natural position. So why do we go on trying to make natural that which is unnatural? Isn't that naturally ridiculous? We try to make natural what is unnatural. That's why it never really works out. It never works out. The fish tries to make it natural for it to be on the land. He can never do it because it's not natural to be on the land. It's natural for being in the water. There was a popular saying back in the 60s, be natural. And they would use that, to go to the forest and everybody would take off their clothes, nudism. They thought that's being natural, being nudist. Got to be natural, yeah. Take off all my clothes, but that doesn't work. It's not really natural. It's natural for a human being. Even in the spiritual world, they have clothes. Even Krishna has clothes. It's a natural thing. Now, animals, they naturally go without clothes, but a human being naturally goes clothes. That's a natural thing. It's very fashionable to wear nice clothes. That's a natural thing for a human being, you see. So why don't we just get back, instead of trying to some artificial naturalism, let's go back to the genuine, bona fide, naturalism, which we learned from the Supreme Personality of God, who's the source of everything. You say, why does his opinion count? After all, who is Krishna anyway? But as we many times explained, maybe hundreds of times, to know how something works, you go to the manufacturer. Just like I have my iPhone, so Apple is the authority how the iPhone works and how to use it properly. Someone might use it as a paperweight. Oh, that's a nice paperweight. You see. with a nice picture on it. Prabhupada ki jai. But if you go to the actual manufacturer and those who learn from the manufacturer, then you know, oh, this is a telephone. There's all kinds of data and different apps, you can do it in this way. So we learn from the manufacturer, or those who have learned from the manufacturer, how to utilize something properly. So we have our manufacturer of all of existence, Lord Sri Krishna, and we have those who have learned from him, Brahmaji, Naradaji, Vyasadeva coming down, Ramanacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarka, going down to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ishvara Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Goswamis. We have Rupa, Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatta, Raghunath Das, Gopal, Bhatta and Jiva. We have these great personalities, you see. So why don't we stop being so puffed up and so indignant? Yeah, that's the word, indignant. Why do we go on trying to think, I'm a big shot here and people should be listening to me, I'm the big shot, I'm the big authority, everybody should listen to me. But that's not the mood of the great acharyas. Prabhupada presented himself as simply the humble servant of his spiritual master, not I'm the big shot, I'm the big shot, you all listen to me. No, he never said like that. He simply presented himself, I'm the humble servant of my spiritual master, and whatever is accomplished is all by his grace, not that I've done anything, you see. So these are the persons we need to hear from. Those are people who present themselves as humble representatives of the previous acharyas. Those are the persons we should hear from. Because those persons actually are empowered to impart to us not knowledge coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, who enlightened Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Such persons are empowered to deliver us from the cycles of birth and death and take us back to our original sarupas in the transcendental existence. So I can ask now if there's any questions. Questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev.
Okay, question? Let's see, chat. Very good, yes, question.
Enjoying propensity and exploiting propensity is very strong now.
Oh, yeah.
Even within the devotee association as well, it is happening. So, even when we say that we have to dovetail everything.
When we have to do everything?
Dovetail.
Dovetail.
Yes. So, how to understand that in a right way? How can we dovetail exploiting propensity towards Krishna consciousness?
That's interesting. How can we dovetail the exploitation propensity? Exploitation means to lord it over. Oh, I got a good answer for you. You got your 6 senses, right? The Vacha Vegam. So now you should lord it over your senses. Mind, words, anger, tongue, bodily, and genitals. I have this lording over propensity, so now let me lord it over these senses. So utilize your exploitative. You say, is that exploiting? Actually, we don't exploit. We give up even your own senses. You may lord it over them, but you're not exploiting them. Exploiting means to cheat or to utilize or like to rape. We give up exploitation. You cannot dovetail exploiting. To take advantage of, to cheat. You cannot utilize exploitation. You can't you can enjoying, definitely you can. That's easy one, but not exploitation. Exploitation is that's the pastime of asuras, rakshasas. Our modern day so-called political leaders are very expert at the art of exploitation. How to enrich themselves and cheat the citizens. Cheat the citizens out of their own wealth and increase their own wealth more and more and more. No, we don't exploit. You're finding somebody said, but Prabhupada, I find this fault, that's fault. Prabhupada, then why don't you set the example? This is one very good example that Prabhupada told one of his disciples, you see. Prabhupada is complaining about devotees are doing this, devotees are doing that. Prabhupada, why don't you set the proper example? You say. If you say things are going wrong in the movement, then you be the perfect example. And actually, an example is very powerful. Do you know that? You know Bhagavad Gita, Yanyana tattadeve tara sayatpanam kurute lokastadana vartate. If you see things are not going properly in the movement, you set the example. And if you actually set the example, that will have an uplifting impact on the whole society. So don't be overwhelmed or overburdened if these things are going wrong. You to be the example to turn them in the opposite direction. Your example will have potency. Does that help a little bit?
So what I understood that even if I feel that, I realize that somebody is taking undue advantage of me, but I should tolerate.
Depends. It depends. If somebody is exploiting me, I'm trying to think of an example of this connection. Somebody's cheating me. Actually, somebody tried to cheat Prabhupada, and he very cleverly avoided. It was a banker or somebody in his pastime before he came to ISKCON, before he started ISKCON. Somebody said, "Oh, Mr. Day, you should have been a politician." He was very expert about avoiding. Someone was trying to rip him off financially, but he very expertly outsmarted the rascal. So somebody's trying to exploit you, you should outsmart the rascal. That's my advice. Outsmart the rascal.
Thank you, Srila.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Srila Gurudev, we have proclivity of artificially
Proclivity of artificially.
natural. Artificially
We have a
natural.
proclivity to be, our innate proclivity is to be natural. The proclivity to be unnatural is artificially imposed upon us by the influence of the three modes of material nature.
How to revive our natural proclivity?
By associating with those who are revived. It's like we had got Prabhupada's association, and we had the association of those who have been touched by Prabhupada's association. So by sadhu sangha, sarva, by sadhu sangha one can achieve all perfections. Sarva siddhi hoy. Sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. By association one can achieve all perfections. So the key is those who, by take shelter of those who are acting in their original natural position, their association will bring you back to the same thing. As I said, you become like that with whom you associate. Therefore, atsatsanga, we cut it off. No, thank you, I'm not interested. I had no desire to go home and sit around a turkey dinner with my parents on Thanksgiving. In America, Thanksgiving was a big day. Oh, Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. I think the pilgrim has got, there's some history, the famous American history, the Thanksgiving Day, you have a big turkey dinner, Like we had a big thing, and we usually ate at a little table in the kitchen. We have special occasions, the dining room table, with a cloth and the fancy plates and silverware, the whole thing. On Thanksgiving Day, that was the big day. You get a turkey, you have a turkey bird sitting there. You actually have the whole carcass sitting in the middle of the table. It's considered a great, great festive occasion. The turkey and everybody's sitting around with a nice, no thank you. I don't need it. I walked away from that culture because that culture had cheated me. I found no satisfaction in that culture. I rejected it. Cut, I headed out on my own, depending on God's grace. Even with no money, I headed out as a hitchhiker. As a poor, and with not even one penny in my name, I headed out with my thumb, hitchhiking 2,000 miles from Houston to San Francisco. Completely cutting off any interest, no more, I don't want that culture anymore, there's got to be something better than this, and I'm going to find it. And who did I meet? Devotees. I met them in San Francisco, the Harinam party, coming back from Hippie Hill. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you have to cut it. Cut. I only want my relationship with Krishna. I want nothing else. Everything else can just, bye-bye. So long, it's been good to know you. So we're well-wishers of those, but we no longer participate in that culture. I was the well-wisher of my family members. I still am. Even my brother came, we had some meeting. I'm a well-wisher. I'm a friend and well-wisher, but I'm not participating in that culture. This is my brother said, I said, come visit, we can do some kirtan. He said, can we do something a little more serene? So I didn't go. But then finally he came to visit me, you see, to talk about my memoir, about a Christian minister, to talk about my memoir. That impressed them, you see. So we associate on our terms, not their terms. That's the point. We don't need to go back to, being a dancing dog. It's a good word for a dancing dog, yeah.
Microphone.
Hare Krishna Srila Gurudev. Here in the purport, the example is given that Priyavrata Maharaj, when he returned home, he could have taken charge of the government, being a brahmachari also, but he accepted the household life. And then Srila Prabhupada made the point of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. When his first wife died, he accepted the second. That means it's mentioned here that as long as I'm in a household life, he told that I must have a wife. So means being at home, one has to have a wife and accept the children. So my point is here, isn't it one can be at home and can follow up the brahmacharya, not having a marriage life?
Interesting question. It's sometimes said the household life without a wife is a desert. Another said, so it's an interesting question. You could live in you could live in the ashram, be a brahmachari in the temple, or you could stay at home, work your job. The question is, can you be alone, living alone as a single man or a single woman, right? Well, Krishna consciousness is so perfect, yes, the answer is you can do that. If you have Krishna consciousness, if you're Krishna conscious, you can be situated in any situation. But if you're not Krishna conscious, then Krishna conscious married life can help you. If you're not Krishna conscious. If you're Krishna conscious, good.
But,
Now, especially your situation, you have a nice service here at the temple, you have very good association with one of the most powerful temples in all of ISKCON, Krishna Balaram Temple. Your situation, you're well situated.
But Gurudev, here one can take the undue advantage of this statement of Srila Prabhupada and can come forward and say, if you're staying at home, one should be getting married.
If someone takes advantage of it, then why don't they act as a humble servant of Srila Prabhupada and start trying to use Prabhupada to put forward their own ego trip? Yeah, I'm the great authority here, but you're in Maya because you're at home without a husband, you're in Maya. They're trying to it's an ego trip is what it is. It's a lording over the name of Krishna consciousness. Trying to use the philosophy to give themselves, quote unquote, a big position of leadership. Why don't you just be a humble servant? Why don't you follow Prabhupada's example and be a humble servant? There's so many, we've seen it in ISKCON many times. I've been evicted of, Guru Maharaji and I've been evicted of this many times. People trying to utilize the teachings of this movement to exploit and lord it over. We've experienced it ourselves, you see. But Guru Maharaj has been very strong on this connection, to not give in to this so-called Krishna conscious leadership, to actually stick to it. And those who actually stick to the valid teachings and philosophy and practice of Krishna consciousness. I remember one Governor used to call it, stick to your guns, he used to say. It's an old saying in America, stick to your guns. That means, in the old days of the West, everyone had guns. They had a holster with their guns. It was a standard thing. Every cowboy had his gun. Yeah. So when the opposition comes, you have to stick to your guns. Don't cave in to some so-called Krishna conscious leadership. When you know something is right, you stick to it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Shri Gurudev, please help me understand this. In the purport, Prabhupada says the principle is that when one becomes a grihastha, he must live perfectly in that order, which means that he must live peacefully with wife and children.
Yeah.
So what does, how to live peacefully with wife and children? How to live peacefully with...
The only way you live peacefully is to be Krishna conscious. Otherwise it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, actually. And it's actually not even required to have children. Varnashram system the Varnashram system is encouraged because that's how we get new devotees. We want a movement where we can have newer generations of Krishna conscious. Not that we just have to make devotees by preaching, we also make devotees by sex life, you see. The idea is we want to have a society that goes on and thrives through the ages, beginning now. The next 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 1,000 years. If we have a society where we have ideal children being produced by Krishna conscious parents, that's very good. So we encourage that on the one hand, but at the same time, it's Papa that our service is voluntary. Not you're married, you have to have kids, otherwise you're in Maya. No, it's not really true. You can be Krishna conscious. Of course, practically speaking, it's in terms of Varnashram Dharma, it's a practical thing. Because eventually you get an old, withered body, you're in a wheelchair, you're bedridden finally at the end. If you had children now, you have somebody who can look and take care of you. That's the practical side of it. But we also have a loving devotee family. If you never had, just like they have a devotee care, this kind of thing. But we also have a loving family of devotees. So even if you had no children, or like you're a sannyasi, we have a support network in a society of this kind. Devotees will take care of those who are invalid or on their deathbeds. It's a loving reciprocation. The whole thing is based, as long as we base it on loving reciprocation, everything will be perfect. But it's not, we have this new thing, I got my profile, yeah. I'm a big devotee. I'm second initiation. I've been chanting 16 rounds for the last 15 years. I have a big profile now. Everybody should bow down, appreciate my profile, yeah. That doesn't hack it. Papa didn't start this movement based on sannyas profile. Papa gave us so much love, and as we heard yesterday, Papa teach it in the lecture. Everybody treated every devotee as special. I have personal experience. I wasn't a big devotee, one of the leaders who would sit in the darshans in the morning walks or whatever, but Prabhupada treated me special. Every devotee was treated by Prabhupada as special. That's a fact. So that Prabhupada gave us such amazing love, and we naturally wanted to love him back. And that's how our movement, that's the whole foundation of our movement, giving love and reciprocating with that love, you see. That's the foundation of our movement, not profile. Profile, forget it. If somebody simply after profile, they'll be here today and gone tomorrow. They won't make it, Krishna consciousness. For those who are in a loving reciprocation, they become very strong and fixed up advanced devotees. By that loving exchange, Rupa Goswami confirms, Dadati pratagrinati, Ghuyam makati prichtati, Bhungte bo bhajate chaiva, Sadvedam pati lakshanam. Giving gifts, receiving gifts, revealing one's mind, hearing others reveal their minds, distributing prasad, accepting prasadam. These are the 6 loving exchanges between the Vaishnavas, you see. Want to become fixed up? Not based on how many verses or pastimes you can say. It's how much you're into loving reciprocation. That's the actual formula for becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness. How reciprocal are you? Not what a great pundit you are, but how reciprocal actually are you. That's what it boils down to. Anything else? I saw him first.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Shri Gurudev. You asked about, okay, you said about that profile thing, so that's very powerful. So, but as a Bhakti Vriksha leader, if you are...
You better be reciprocal, otherwise you're a Bhakti Vriksha disgrace. If you're not reciprocal, you're a Bhakti Vriksha disgrace.
Yeah.
You understand? I know that's my Bhakti, my leader is Vishnujana Swami. He is amazingly reciprocal. You see. So you have to learn to be reciprocal. That's how you'll be able to train people to be first-class devotees. By your reciprocal, loving reciprocation with them, they will become intoxicated by devotional service.
Right. But people usually see that, okay, usually people talk about themselves that I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Then people are attracted towards those. Those who don't do that, usually people
say
are
it
not.
Again. Yeah, tell me again.
So usually people, they talk about themselves that, okay, I'm doing this, as you said, that profile, I'm doing this. Then people get
them. Oh, it's
attracted.
so nice you've done that. You should give them all encouragement. Oh, that's wonderful what you're doing. Give them all encouragement, appreciation. Oh, it's so nice what you're doing. Thank you for doing that. Give them all recognition and encouragement. Don't squelch them. What do you mean? Tell them you told me you did 20 books. Why do you tell me you did 20 books yesterday? Why you damn egotist? No. Oh, you did 20 books. That's wonderful. Give them all encouragement. You see.
Right.
That will encourage them to do more. Let me do 40 books tomorrow, you see. Give them whatever. That's how I was. Whatever little spark of devotion is there, fan into a blazing fire, you see. Isn't it?
Yep. Thank you.
That's called leadership, not overlordship. Leader means one who inspires others to go to increase their service unlimitedly. That's. Got to bring the blue box. This one's finished. I go to the trash. The blue box is loaded. It's there by the bed. It's on the head of the. You'll see it. Okay. Now it's your turn. Now he was the next and year after him.
It's past 9 o'clock.
It's past 9 o'clock. That's not. All right. These 2 questions and that's it. Okay.
Today in Guru Puja, like someone was changing the lyrics. So is that okay?
Today Guru Puja.
Someone was like changing the lyrics. So is that right or?
Changing what?
Lyrics.
Limit.
Lyrics.
Leaning.
Words.
Huh?
Song lyrics.
Someone changed the lyrics.
So I'm asking, is that right or wrong?
This is off the Bible.
No, don't change the lyrics. It's written there, just sing what's on the sheet. Okay, now back there. Don't change the lyrics, no. These great acharyas, their lyrics are perfect. We don't need to rewrite these bhajans, okay? Don't do that. Don't change the lyrics. Yeah.
Gurudev.
See, I need that. I don't hear through that. That's a backup for those offline. I need to hear live. That doesn't connect with me.
Okay.
That's for the people offline. This person here needs to hear directly from you.
No, he is recording. It has to go into that.
That's all right, but the point is that I can't hear through that device. You have to speak to me as if the device was not there, and let them. You understand this point? It's a very clear point. It's not that, well, you know, I can't hear through that. I need to hear normally, but that's a backup for people for being recorded. Okay?
Gurudev, has the GBC sanctioned the establishment of Lord Shiva as Gopeshwar Mahadev in ISKCON
They
temple?
haven't said anything about it as far as I know. Have they said something about it? Do you know?
No.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just worried about becoming a pure devotee. Has nothing to do with me. Whether they authorize Gopeshwar Shiva shrines at every temple, you know, I will oppose that, to be honest, because Prabhupada never did that. Why should he establish some new standard that Prabhupada never established? To me, it's asinine. It's idiocy. I say it as somebody want to be a big leader because out of it's egotism for me. That's how I see it. Let's just take what Prabhupada has given us and doing that perfectly. Why add something new? To me, it's ridiculous. If I was on the GBC, I would vote against it, very solidly against it. But I'm not on the GBC. The GBC, I doubt that they're so foolish they would authorize such a thing. I sincerely doubt it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right that they won't do it. It'd be a ridiculous thing to add some new standard to ISKCON, that we have to have a Shiva, Gopeshwar Shiva at every ISKCON. It'd be ridiculous. We have to show the Hindus that we're actually very liberal and we're not fanatical. What kind of idiocy is this? It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, does that help a little bit?
Yes, Gurudev.
Shantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Okay.